Today we're going to be picking up from where we left off in regards to Euro USD. So the analysis for today is going to be done more on the macro. So we're going to look at a higher time frame or a higher movement in regards to the Euro USD. So with that said and done, we're going to get straight into it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to assess what is actually going on in this area, so we can see what's going on in this area. So we might have some kind of consolidation up here, okay, where it just does stuff like this and just swings up and down, and then it makes a decision, right? But however, I think there's more at play than meets the eye, and I would like to drag that to, well, I like to draw that to your attention. I was going to say drag that to your attention, but it should be draw that to your attention. So the first thing that we're going to do is in this area right now as a whole, okay, we have a channel, right? So we have a channel right here, and that's what I want to draw to your attention, because that is what I want to analyze, and I think that is actually going to serve us a lot better in the long run than if I just focus on a couple of movements of the Euro USD. We can have a much better idea as to what's going on, what's happening, and it can help us make sure that we have our best foot forward in regards to our trades. So first things first, let's just put a little trend line on here, right? Now this analysis I'm about to do, it could support the previous analysis that I did about 6 days ago. It could actually support that, or it might not. It might not. So the first thing we're going to do right now is I'm going to get rid of the volume profile. As you can see, the volume profile only targets this area right here, okay, and I need to change that. So we're going to get rid of the volume profile for now. We're going to have a look to see what we've got going on in this area, and we're going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff in this area, as a matter of fact, right? A whole bunch of stuff. We're just going to clean this whole place up, make sure everything makes sense. And then that way, moving forward, as we continue to analyze the market, our analysis should be a little bit more accurate than it has been, based on the fact that we've been really looking at the shorter time frame supposing to the larger time frame. So let's get rid of all of these levels for now. Now, another thing as well that I must add, right? Because we're going to be covering such a large area, so I'm talking about all of this. We're going to be covering such a large area. I think it's going to be quite important that I do certain things on here that will genuinely help us make a decision as to what to do and how to do it, or what not to do and what to do, right? So this is what we got going on right now. Okay, this is what we got going on right now in regards to what Euro USD is doing. This is on a daily time frame, and what I am going to do is, let's see how far back this goes. We're going to cover from this area over here that way in regards to our volume profile that we're now about to add. So let me anchored volume profile. Okay, great. So now we have an idea exactly what is going on. So we've got the top of the trend line that I've just drawn. This is the low value area of the volume profile. And obviously, once price gets into this zone, we're going to talk more about that. But for now, price is here. Price is right here. Okay. And as I'm sure this morning you woke up to the fact that Israel has launched an attack on Iran. Okay, so we're waiting to see how that situation there is going to develop, if it's going to have any impact on the euro or not. I'm expecting it will have some type of impact on oil, but we're yet to see what kind of impact it will have on the euro dollar, right? So let's just see how that develops. So as it stands, we're going to go into the hour for now. So we're just going to briefly go into the hour, because there is another set of things that we need to add on here. So that's Monday. Let's drag this over. Sunday, Monday. Okay, so let's just do. Okay, great. All right, so as you can see, the weekly high of last week has been taken out, right? So the weekly high of last week, that's this level right here. That was taken out on the Wednesday of this week just gone. And the weekly low, we'll look at that when if it does become relevant, right? So the things that we want to keep an eye on right now, we're looking at this on a very, very, very large scale. However, we've gone into the hour to help us lock in positions as market does what market is going to do. And if I'm right with the overall assessment that I'm about to share with you today, what that will help us with is it will help us hold this position for a lot longer than we usually would. So we actually are going to be tapping into the concept of a swing trade a lot more moving forward with my overall style of analysis, rather than keeping the trade itself relatively short-lived, so maybe a couple of days, etc. This time we're going to try and target a good couple of weeks if possible. We try and hit a whole month if possible. That's what we kind of want to do. I've looked at that. It makes a lot of sense to try and trade in this way. It is difficult to do, but it is straightforward if you know how to. I believe I know how to, so I'm going to share that information with you all today moving forward. So as it stands, because price is now outside of the high value area of the volume profile, I am expecting some kind of retracement. That is what I'm expecting. Okay, so with that said and done, this is what I am looking for. I am looking for a new lower low to be created in the market, okay, somewhere in this area, right? So I'm looking for a new lower low to be created. Let me a new lower low to be created. We're going to use this area here as the level of interest, right? That level in question is 1.13699, okay? And I'm looking for price down here, right? This is where it's going to create a new lower low for me. So it might do something like this. It come down to this area and then it will push up. Somewhere around here, I would look for an entry to push back down again in hopes that it's going to make its way back into the high value area of the volume profile. Now, so say for example, I am right with my assessment. Let's just entertain that for a second. Say I am right with my assessment. Price does come down, it does push up, and it does break its way into the high side of the high value area, which is right here, into the low value nodes here. I would expect price to kind of push through. Once it's pushed through, I'll wait for the retest. Whether I go back in or not, I'll be comfortable with the idea that it's going to keep going downwards to the bare minimum of the low value node in this area right here of the bottom boundary of the high value area of the volume profile, right? That is what I would be hoping for, right? So as it stands right now, this is how everything is looking. And I think when you actually do an analysis like this and you actually look at it on a larger time frame, it makes your life a little bit easier in terms of what you're waiting for. Now, the only downside to that, right, and there is a slight downside to it, is that it's a lot of waiting time. It's a lot of waiting time, but when done right, I think this will actually save you a lot of money as well as make you a lot of money, in my opinion. So because obviously all you guys watching me right now, I want to win and I want you guys to win. I think by adopting this style of analysis is going to be way more helpful and way more beneficial than it would be if we just keep it really localized in terms of what we can get in a couple of days, supposing to trying to target a good solid amount of weeks and months. So the plan here is to go for maximum profit, which means staying in the game for a sustained period of time, right? So as we can see, if you go on your chart and you put a trend line right here, okay, you put a trend line right underneath all of these candles over here. Once that is broken, that will be your first signal to let you know that there is a high probability that this particular support level, so this is a mini support level, could be taken out, at which point we will have our signal to go, right? We'll have our signal to go. So everything I've just said, it might seem like I've just pulled it out of thin air, but there is actual logic to this, right? So first things first, you saw what I did a couple minutes ago in regards to me saying if price comes down here, then it pushes up, then it flies back down again, and all of that seemed like I just pulled that out of the thin air, right? So let me explain where the logic of that came from. So basically, we're gonna mark out the low value node areas of the volume profile. So this is it right here, right? Yeah. So this is the low value node area, and we have another low value node area right here. Okay, low value node area. So we've got two right now. So we've got one up here, and then we've got one over here. So these are the low value node areas, right? And let me get a decent size marker one. So say price comes from this level, breaks below, right? We get the bounce from the volume profile. We get the bounce from the low value area of the volume profile, right? Low value area, let's repeat that. So we get a bounce from the low value area. No, so we get a bounce from the low value node in the low value area back up to the upside, like so, where it's gone into another low value node area, in the low value area, right? I know it gets confusing, but just bear with me, right? At this point, once we see prices leaving this zone right here, okay, we can target this location right here where we have another low value node. So that's how that move in itself would look if certain conditions was to appear in the market. So let me just repeat that because that can sound a little bit confusing. Okay, so this here is the low value. So this here is the low value area, right, of the volume profile. This is the high value area of the volume profile, right? I'm expecting price to make his way back into the high value area of the volume profile because price is attracted to point of control. It is attracted to that level, so it will always try to get back there whenever it can. It will always try to get back there. These are one of the things that we bank on when we use volume profile to assist us with our trades. So as it goes, this is, let me re-say what I was saying so it's a little bit more clearer, right? So right now, price is in a low value node in the low value area of the volume profile. I'm expecting price to move away from the low value node into another low value node area, which is right here. At that point, I'm expecting price to bounce back up to the previous low value node area it has just left, at which point I would wait to see if we get a close below that low value node area. If I am successful and that does happen, then I would expect price to make his way all the way down through the previous low value node area, all the way down to a new low value node area in the high value area of the volume profile. This area right here, at which point I could expect another bounce back up into the low value node before it does the same thing again and pushes back downwards. Like so. So that is what I am expecting for Euro USD to perform within the next couple days. Like I said, because the aim of the game now is to really look at this on a macro, right? That's what we're going to have to keep an eye on it. So we want to use the hour or say the 15-minute, 30-minute time frame to plan our entries into the market. Once we're in the market, we automatically switch over to this view, the day or the week. That's the view we go into once we locked in, and we make sure all our stops supports the view of the day or the week, right? So if I'm saying I'm locking in right here, my stop needs to be at the bare minimum at this level right here, which would be 1.16855. At the bare minimum, that's where my stop has to be, right? So let's jump into the week and let's see if that supports that stop. And the stop is supported. There is nothing near it, so that's good. Let's go to a month and let's see if that stop is supported. The stop is supported. So long as our stop is supported by the monthly candle, the weekly candle, and the daily candle, we can rest assured we are good. Only issue with that is that stop might be substantial and you might be very uncomfortable with it. But remember, it's going to reduce the number of times we are actually in the market. And all it is we've got to do is get 2 of these cycles correct. So we just got to get entry up here. This turns out to be okay, fantastic. Trailing stop up here, right? We're in profit right now. We then wait to see if it goes down lower. If it goes down lower, great. We lock that in. All we're going to be doing is we're only going to be bringing our trailing stop once we have a higher low confirmed or a higher high confirmed in regards to our overall analytical style. That's what we're going to be doing moving forward, right? Now, I hope this analysis has helped you because this is a Friday. So tomorrow, market isn't going to be moving, right? We might expect a fair degree of volatility today based on what's going on in the Middle East right now. But however, I'm not expecting no major movements over the weekend, right? On a Monday, we might get a gap depending on how serious the problem actually becomes, because right now the situation just started. We have to wait to see what happens tomorrow, Saturday, and then we have to wait to see what happens on Sunday, right? If it's going to escalate or not. And then on Monday, that will let us know if you're going to get a gap up or a gap down, especially if market responds to that situation. So with that said and done, I will see you all on the next one.